And we're live. Welcome to Shia's Room with another episode of A Living Proof. I'm Beverly Briggs, your host, and tonight with me we have Elias and Georgia John Briggs. Tonight's topic is Wife for Your Money. We had we were to do this episode 2 weeks ago, and for 2 weeks it had to be postponed. But sometimes when you get in problems to do something, when things keep coming up, it's because there is a message that we really need to get out there. So we are happy to have you on with us live tonight as we explore the topic, Wife for Your Money. Just want to take the time before we get into it to wish everyone happy holidays. I know that we are doing a lot of cleaning. Some of us are listening to some soca parang or carols, and we are just having a time getting ready for Christmas. And then there are some of us who have recently celebrated Thanksgiving. So I did not get the opportunity to say Happy Thanksgiving, so I'm still saying it tonight. Happy Thanksgiving. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. This is taken from Proverbs 18:22. Great job, Elias, was her comment after her husband had finished singing his original piece. When she was recognized by the panel, she responded, Wife for your money, LOL. The making of a great wife is dependent on the kind of support she extends to her husband. This little piece of a woman know not only the right way to get her own way, but is also her husband's greatest friend and support. So, this evening's program, we will be focusing, even though we have them as a couple here, our main focus would be on wife for your money. No, she is going to tell us before we really get into what wife for your money is all about. She is going to tell us why she knows she is wife for your money, right? She is in the hot seat now because she put that statement, she had put that comment on our social media live. So we want to know why it is you know you are wife for your money.
Hi, good night, everyone. So happy to be here. Um, as I said the last time, when I said the wife for your money statement, I was just being playful in the moment, just livening up the chat a bit, and I was trying to be funny. But in terms of wife for your money, I think it comes more from from a lack rather than it's like saying I'm the best wife in the world or anything like that, because it's easier for me to be a mom than to be a wife. I know
Right.
it feels more natural. Like caring for children is a little easier
Mhm.
than extending myself as a wife. So I think whatever I have as a wife that I can offer, it comes from God really, and me knowing that
Right.
I am not all that as a wife. And yeah, so wife for your money comes from God equipping me to love this man as best as I could.
Elias, after she make the statement, she trying to be modest tonight. But tell me, Elias, is she indeed wife for your money?
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I must say she is. She's a true blessing. Um, what she brings to our home or family, it's wonderful. I I remember telling you a long time, me a little while now, that I remember telling mommy as well. Like, in Christianity, there is law and there's grace. and they say
mm,
like two of them come together to make a nice blend. Uh, I
mm-hmm.
think it's like that with me and her. It's like one is law, next one is grace. So
Right.
it's like it's a compliment. So it helps
Mm-hmm.
the marriage or it helps our relationship. It helps our living to have a more balanced point of view.
Right. We have Christine Brooke in the comments. That's my co-host. She is co-hosting from the comments tonight because we know there are times when motherhood comes before any and everything. And so we are glad that we still are able to have her or looking on and sending her comments. Of course, you can see the the emojis that she sent. Uh, a diamond ring, bag of money, and a wink of the eye. Cheryl Silly says, beautiful couple, may the Lord continues to bless your union. Right?
Thank
Thank you, Cheryl Silly. Thank you for logging in with us this evening. So, Christine is saying, woohoo! Yes. So, we are going to be talking about this, how support is a great being as a wife, how supporting your spouse is a great um, benefit for both your spouse and for the marriage, and how best you can be that support. We are also going in as to how they understood even before they got married that they were going to be able to work together to have that kind of support needed to have a successful marriage. Of course, all marriages are not without its own problems, but is not a marriage that doesn't have problems that is a successful marriage, but a marriage, two persons who knows how to who are mature and knows how to be able to work through whatever challenges come their way. So we just want to begin by asking them how they met. So Elias and Georgia, I know that we had started this interview, and so those of you who were able to come on live may have seen some of or heard some of the answers to these questions at just the beginning before we had technical problems. But for those who were not able to log in, we are going it over, right? So tell us, how did you meet?
You go this time. I went the last time.
Well, we met. You'd say over Facebook, but you had known about each other before. So we had known about each other. Um, yeah, she was no big, like this big person in big in the pit, yeah. Like
Mm,
she was more like okay, Georgia, Rianne's friend. I knew her as Rianne's friend, but I think I knew Rianne more than I knew her. And so yeah, but I messaged her. She would have said last time to ask her
Do something
to
in
do something in
EY.
EY, and I don't think she responded in the affirmative. I think she told me she was. Oh yes, she told me how she wasn't going to church in Grandee, and she was going some church in Guayari and stuff. Now she tell me that she believed that I was just trying to make sure that she wasn't talking church, and that she was trying to encourage her back to church and that kind of stuff. I can't remember all of that. All I remember is asking the young lady to do something in church. And after that,
mm,
we met up a couple times by the Maxi hub waiting for Maxi. And I remember saving her from wetting her feet a time. You know, she was standing there
He
in
was rude. He
she
was
was standing
disrespectful.
there in a puddle of water. And I was like tap her on her shoulder like you're standing in water. You
He
know?
was rude. I thought the boy was trying to talk to me like as a friend, and oh, they should have seen it. He was like, "It's not in water." It
I,
was like
Like
that.
matter
I
of
was just
factly.
Yeah.
I was
He
just
I
didn't
know.
care to
trying
know who I
Mhm.
was or anything. He just was, you're standing in water.
I was just trying to save her from some from wetting her feet. Right? And then we started talking on Facebook a little more regular and that kind of thing. And then from Facebook it went to
Sky.
Skype, and she never turned on a camera until a very long time. But you
Right.
know, from Skype, then we started.
Tell them why I didn't turn on my camera.
Because she said if she showed me a camera, I would have fallen in love with her.
Um, and like she was right.
Rose eyes.
Yes, Christine says it's so nice to see the two of you supporting each other. So tell me, what it was the greatest thing that drew you, Elias, to Georgia and Georgia, you to Elias? What was the greatest characteristic that drew you all together?
For me, it was his love for God, and his
Mm,
dedication and commitment to serving God. That was it for me. And yeah, just knowing that I could have someone who I would really have as a partner on this Christian journey. Yeah, that was the main thing for me. His cute smile was just a plus, but the serving God was it for me.
I and this is my brother, so I think I'm allowed to say this. Cute is in the eye of the beholder.
What did you, what did you, what did,
Oh God, Elias, yes, tell us, Elias, what
um,
it is that attracted you to Georgia. Mm,
her willingness to take spiritual things serious.
mm,
I remember saying this last time that we, you know, coming out of other relationships, because just out of a 5 year relationship, and I said to myself, I want this relationship to go different. Like I'm reaching this stage where I want things to get serious. I don't want to just be in relationships and that is it. Nah, eh, time to get serious. And I remember coming and asking her. I said, "Well, if we deciding to do this thing, then we had to do it proper. So you know, Advent is home. So
mm,
uh, in times when I would come to check her, rather than watching television together or doing any other thing, we used to sit down and read little
So cute
yes, but we used to read a little what do you call it? Sorry, Adventist home. And we don't even read everything, but we would try to read things that we thought were beneficial for us.
mhm,
And I think it wasn't just the reading of it, and it was just her willingness to. So it
mhm,
wasn't so much like, okay, we sit down because I mean sometimes we really wasn't focusing on line there. We were just reading because we committed to reading it. But it was just her willingness to go on this journey. And I was
mm,
so appreciative of that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Christine, our co-host, she sent a question in the comments. She said, "How was courtship different than marriage for each of you, or did your spouse say the same?" So oftentimes we have marriages. We say, "Okay, we courting this person, and then when you get married, you don't know who that person is at all. Like it's a completely different person." And so we want to know, was courtship different for you to what marriage is? what is the difference? Was it that you was this spouse in your mind have had changed, or is it just new challenges? Tell us.
Um, okay. Well, I guess our courtship it went into the marriage for a short period, right? And then we had our first daughter pretty early. So
Okay.
when you have a child in the mix, people change because roles and responsibilities are there now. And so you see a different side of persons. I know, well, I guess the last could answer, but I know for me, I wouldn't have been so well after I had my baby mentally and all of that. So the way that I would have reacted to Elias and all, it would have changed. So that is something. So courtship went into the marriage for a little while, and then baby came. So things would have changed because our focus now was on our daughter. Well, she was an additional focus in the marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Elias, you want to answer that?
Yes, well, nothing too much different to what George is saying. It really went into the marriage. We were still
Yeah.
this nice little bungs, playful, doing stuff, going, always in each other's company, kind of vibe. Um, but then after, yeah, the when baby came, it took a different slant because Georgia took her role pretty serious. Um, so it was so new for her. Like she
Mm-hmm.
just went all in. Um, and sometimes that is so that was her priority. So our marriage was not basically a priority. Not to say that our marriage was in shambles, but it just was not the priority at the time. Afterwards, we had to have a little conversation, and then with the conversation we kind of get back things, try to work back to getting things there, to creating a balance. We had a
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I think I even had to play a more of a hands-on role in the child's life so that it will enable everything to work together as well. So we had that conversation. So it did continue, but we had a little break in transition, and up to now we still trying to our best to create that environment for each other, the way we enjoy each other's company. Like we want to be around each other, we enjoy each other's company, doing things that we enjoy, we love.
Mm-hmm. I know, Georgia, for you, you suffered with a bit of depression after you had your first child. And we have so many women now that are really going into that postmortem
Postpartum, yeah.
post yeah
Postpartum.
depression, right? So I want you to just give us a little tip as to how you were able to um overcome it, and what role your spouse was able to play also in helping you to overcome your depression.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's a big one. Because I feel like it's just recently when I was pregnant with my second daughter when I felt like I really got a breakthrough because
Right.
so after Hadassah, which was our first, um, like I would have seasons of depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now with my second pregnancy, there was a time I was experiencing a lot of what's called it palpitations.
Right.
And
Anxiety
well,
attacks. Okay.
at a clinic appointment, I brought it up with the physician, and he told me, well, he referred me to the clinic at the hospital. When I went
Mm-hmm.
there, they wanted me to monitor me and stuff, and everything was fine. Everything was fine with my heart because they did ECG and everything. They monitored
Right.
me and everything was fine. But coming out of that, they would have said most likely it's anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And well, from oh, but prior to going to the hospital, yeah, I wasn't feeling that great at all mentally. Like I was having um thoughts of harming myself. I remember Friday night I was pregnant with my second daughter. A Friday night I really I don't know. I felt like that was the night I was going to really try and hurt myself because the thoughts were just it was too much. And
Mm.
so it was in the hospital. They referred me to different persons and they put me on to I think it was a medical social worker. And
Right.
for me it was talking, talking to her
Mm-hmm.
and just releasing a lot of the things that were troubling me. So things even from childhood, you know, there's a way I guess pregnancy just kind of compounds different things. So like,
Right.
yeah. So you're in a situation,
Mm-hmm.
everything just seems so amplified, I guess, with the hormones and everything. But in talking to her, and after I would have spoken to others that were close to me, like just confiding in them and letting them know like different things that really have me down and troubling me and stuff. And from then, I felt like I really got a breakthrough in sharing and in talking to these persons. Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
And tell us, what did you, what your spouse needed to do as to be a support to you when while you were going through that time?
Hmm. Through okay, I guess just understand.
Mm.
Yeah, that was it more or less. But I must confess, I wasn't that open with him all the time. So
Okay.
in terms of sharing, that was in the second pregnancy. I didn't really share that I was experiencing the self harm thoughts and all of that. Is after I end up in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital, and you know, that is when he would have heard and he was like, so why you didn't tell me? And just like, I didn't want to burden anybody and that.
Yes.
So I, I wasn't
Yes.
I wasn't the best in that situation because I didn't really share with him. I didn't open up to him about it.
Okay. And that's how it is at times, you know. At times we just don't want to feel as if we are burdening our spouses. And actually depression. Depression tells us that we are a burden, you know. So let's go back to wife for your money about support. So Georgie, right? Uh the both of you, I know you believe in having a purpose driven life. And speaking to you even before you all got married, you all had all these wonderful plans of being able to support each other and being able to live a purposeful life together. So tell us what you all were able to do, you know, to live that purposeful life, even within your marriage.
Well, if I go back to, as I said, even before we got married, there's a video on Facebook from what we call Musica Coelestium. That is really means heavenly music. It is a music school that George and I would have opened even before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went and we started.
Came out from entrepreneurship class.
Yeah, we went to
Mm-hmm.
some entrepreneur.
Oh,
Is your
yeah.
entrepreneurship class, and after we felt like we have that and we had this and that, let's do this. So we started off with that drive to do that. We contacted persons. It didn't work out as it should, but God work out other things differently. We then started up
Right.
a
Mobile.
mobile market, started
Mm-hmm.
driving around and selling stuff for persons. Um, when that happened for a little while, uh, that didn't work out either. Well, it didn't. I didn't say it didn't work out. We didn't keep it running. We felt like it. Yeah. Um. After
Yes.
that, no, we started no singing together and all that kind of stuff. So there
Mm-hmm.
has always been things in our lives to keep us working together, and
Right.
that is purposeful in a way, because we understand that when two persons are working together on a similar project or whatsoever, it
Mm-hmm.
they one, they spend more time together, and then two, they get to know each other and they grow together more. So we always try to embark on projects together, even if it's
Right.
something simple.
Right, which kind of takes us back to courtship within the marriage, right?
Mm.
Being able to be in each other's space and do things together. I can remember that. I can remember they going around on a Sundays, especially with their mobile markets. And there was even one time when they were selling fish.
Yes,
They were
yes,
together.
yes.
They were actually enjoying. Um, Georgie was actually supporting. This was an idea Elias wanted to run with, and Georgie was there supporting her husband, sitting next to him, making sure that everything was going well. And it was just a beautiful sight to see the both of them working along together. Georgie, why do you see supporting your spouse as being something of great importance within your marriage?
Um, while it's all nice to do things together, I believe that supporting your spouse, it shows that they matter, because
Right.
you know, even though you're in a marriage together and you do things together,
Hmm.
everyone is individual, right? And you have individual goals. So
Right.
Elias, he's heavy into the music. He's a music teacher. He has a separate life apart from me. And me just
Right.
being supportive, it shows that I see him and he matters, and
Hmm.
what he is interested in, it
Hmm.
matters. And I think it creates a safe space in the marriage, so that you could be your authentic self and have your own interests
Hmm.
when you could support
Right.
your spouse. Yeah.
Nice. It adds to the oneness within the marriage. Yes. Elias, I know that you
Yes.
touched briefly on it earlier on, and it's something that we had discussed outside of this program. And one thing that we both know is that Georgie brought a lot of support, and that support brought a lot of changes in your own life. And one of the things that she taught you was about grace. And so I want you to be able to tell us, right, how Georgie was able, as a supportive wife, to bring about change, positive change within your life, so that you can be a better person today.
I'm not sure I really want to hear.
Yes, we do.
Well, I have not shared this a lot on social media. I think I've shared it with the other persons, but there was a point in my life where I was all about God. Everything, I breathed for God, and I felt I had a strong persuasion that He wanted me in the ministry, and I also had a strong persuasion of many other things. That strong persuasion led me to what I could look back now on. I didn't know it then, but look back on and see it's fanaticism. And so I was strongly heading down a particular, hardcore. I just wanted to do God's will. I really wanted to do God's will, with all my heart and my soul. And I didn't want to miss a what I wanted to hear God's voice clearly. And it was sometime around that time where Georgia and I, Georgia would have accepted my proposal, my marriage proposal. She's a very crazy child. I don't understand her. She would have accepted my marriage proposal. And then, come a few months later, said, okay, it's time to set the date. And I was so focused on God that I had to listen and sit down and listen to his voice and to tell me exactly when is this date supposed to occur. And in my mind, I heard the date. What was boy January the 25th or something like that, the 21st or something back. And note well that this wasn't what December or January. I had December or yeah. So ready in January 25th to get this thing done with. And I believe that God was speaking to me. There are many other crazy things that happened around that time. Many other crazy things. We don't have the time tonight to go through all those those crazy things. But that this woman still decided to marry me. You can believe that? After all that, she see this fella talk and all this crazy talk, all this, she still decide to marry me, boy. And now at the point, I didn't see that in her. When we got married, I still thought, yeah, she married me. I felt like it's only after looking back, God brought me to a place, and that was when I got fired. I get fired, and after I get fired, that a whole lot of things started running through my mind. Like, Elias, who are you really? What is what? And start flowing. And when I look back, I say by myself, but how this girl marry me? And that helped me to try to grasp that, helped me to understand God, helped me to understand the love of God, helped me to understand who he truly was. And so it kind of helped me to be more loving, helped me to be more loving to her and more loving to others. She has shown me what it really means to just to love somebody, not to love them when they are this way, but just to love them. And that has impacted my entire life. It has made me a better person, a better Christian, a better person. It really has.
Nice. And I know for a fact, speaking to my brother on a couple of occasions, because we just sit down and chat, that his wife indeed uh, played a big role in helping him to overcome so many things through her support. And as you could see, when he was on, she was just there in the comment, just cheering him on with her pom poms. You know, that's his cheerleader. Yes. And so we want to encourage others. We have so much divorces now. We have half of the persons, 50% of the persons who were getting married no longer getting married. And then 50% of the persons who are getting married ending up in divorce. And I know that you all are pretty young still in the marriage arena, but because of your determination and the way you can see things going now, and because of what you know that this is not going to end by God's grace. And so tell us some of the steps that you took even before marriage in order to make sure that when you get married, and even after the steps that you took after marriage also, to make sure that the both of you can stay on the same level, be able to have that unity. Now, this is two different worlds, two different cultures that we are pulling together here. So give us some pointers as to what were the things that you all saw necessary to be done in order to make sure that you have a successful marriage as you do right now.
Okay. Well, I think one thing that really could make or break a marriage is communication, proper
Right.
communication.
Mm-hmm.
And in a marriage, you're dealing with two persons, two different people. You're bound to have some issues. And I'm not saying that Elias and I are perfect, but we try to address issues rather than the person, you know? So I have a problem with this thing that you're doing. So you're not making it like, oh gosh, I'm tired of you and you're doing this and you're doing that and making it about the person.
Yes.
Right? You try to address
Mm-hmm.
the issues. Yeah, and just talking. Like when you feel a particular way, you know, us women we have a bad way that we like we assume that the man should know exactly how we feeling and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need to
Yes.
tell them because everybody has their own thing going on. So like that was about a week ago, a week or two ago. um I just came to him and I was like, last I feeling like we kind of distant and we're not being very friendly with each other. And
Right.
from there, he's like, okay, well, after my class, I'll come on one time and we'll spend some time together and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I believe like a big part in making a marriage work is proper communication.
Right.
Yes, I don't know.
Well, on my side, like certain things that we do in marriage, we never planned it. But I think
Mm-hmm.
God at the center, because we always
Right.
had that God at the center, we always see made time for worship and to pray. One thing I love about this woman is that when I say, okay, for instance, if somebody is going through some little struggle or some strain that we are aware of, and if I say, Georgia, let's stop and let's just pray for them, she's willing, and we stop and we pray. And it's not just about that tonight, but it's about everything. It's about we understand. There's this time, and I think God does things very strategically. There's this time
Mm-hmm.
there was a situation going on in our home, and we prayed about it in our devotions, and almost immediately it it
Mm-hmm.
it it went away. That gave us both so much of confidence in prayer now that it helps us to
Right.
have prayer lists. Out of that, we realized, okay, this prayer list thing is serious, boy, and we we are committed to prayer, to having a prayer list and to praying about certain things and for the long haul, not just okay one day pray about it and anything. For the so I think that having a spiritual um environment in our home has contributed a lot. Having God at the center has really contributed to some of the things that we do. Because honestly, Shia, I can't say that we planned some of this stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that God gives His wisdom and we follow.
Right. Right. So it is really, really important and that we have God at the center. And sometimes when we say God, we have all different kind of definition for God. But for me, I love the fact that John 4:8 says God is love. And so without love being the core center of a marriage, then it's hopeless. Because and God is the one that created it that way, right? Because we have this saying where we say, man are from Mars and woman from Venus or other way around. And because man is so different to woman, you know, and the only thing that can actually literally bring a man and a woman together in one is God. God must be at the center. Love must be at the center of what we do and what we see. Uh,
One
we
more
have
thing.
you have
Where's
you.
the
Yes, go ahead.
thing, Shai? I
Go
think
ahead.
also the fact that we are friends
Right.
before we are partners, before we are lovers, we are
Mm-hmm.
friends.
Right.
So it helps give a nice foundation. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about us being intimate. It's not just about us. I mean, it is also about us sharing friendship. We took the
Right.
time to get, even before we were into a relationship, we took the time to be each other's friend, and
Mm-hmm.
then get into the courting and thing after that. So friendship is important as well.
Right. That it truly is. Um, you are viewing Shia's Room with another episode of A Living Proof. Tonight's topic: wife for your money, and we are featuring Mr. and Mrs. Briggs, and they are telling us, giving us a little bit about their experience as a couple and what got them through to where they are at today. They are the parents of two beautiful baby girls, and they continue to move forward in God because, as we can see in the interview thus far, God is have indeed be the center of their relationship from day one, and He have indeed kept them on the right path. Now, as we were saying before, they do a ministry together. Um, they see themselves as co-partners where purpose is concerned. And one of the ministry that they are into right now is music. So they are going to render a special, they're going to minister to us through music at this point in time. After this special song, we are going to get back to Georgia. She has some new things that she is doing online, and she will tell us why she started it and what she is doing and how you are able to support her and connect with what she is doing.
So we're doing this one a cappella. I don't have the keyboard this time to accompany us, but this song is the same song that we did last time. It's original song. It was I wrote it even way before, but then after uh, made some changes, and she does such an awesome job of singing. All right. So the name of it is Me, Myself, and God. I think I had to work on changing that name.
Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. For by myself it seems helpless, so now I'm on my knee. I need your guidance, need your love, just let your blessings flow. When you're in me and I'm in you, I know that I will grow in the grace and the knowledge of your word, so that each and every day I can live in one accord. To know what is my purpose, to see what is your plan. Though the sky seems rough, I know that you
still hold my hand.
and now it's just me, myself, and God.
A closer walk I cannot afford to walk this road all by myself. I need you, Lord, and no one else.
Me, myself, and God.
I said a closer walk I cannot afford to walk this road all by myself. I need you, Lord, and no one else. And you hear me sing, Spirit of the living God, yeah. fall afresh on me. For by myself it seems helpless, so now I'm on my knee. When I am weak, that's when you're strong, a rock that I can hide. And though the storms and waves roll on, in peace I will abide. Abide in the temple in the presence of the saints. Sabbath after Sabbath, by beholding I am changed. No longer am I slave, cause my Jesus set me free. And you can have it too, just accept it.
Calvary.
Because it's just me, myself, and God. A closer walk I cannot afford to walk this road all by myself. I need you, Lord, and no one else.
Me, myself, and God.
I said a closer walk I cannot afford to walk this road all by myself. I need you, Lord, and no one else. So when the pressures of life come upon you,
And there's trouble on every hand,
in His word you know you'll find refuge.
although you struggle to see His plan,
And then you read in His presence there's comfort.
and He'll be with you to the end.
And when you thought you used your last resort,
Guess what?
He sent you a friend. And now it's just me, my friend, and God. A closer walk I cannot afford to walk this road all by myself. You sent me a friend when I needed help.
Me, my friend, and God.
I said a closer walk I cannot afford to walk this road all by myself. You sent me a friend when I needed help. You sent me a friend when I needed help. You sent me a friend when I needed your help.
Yeah, me, myself, and God. And you hear how beautifully they sang together. They really do complement each other. I'm telling you, it is such a wonderful thing to have Georgie in our family. And her family also. She has a beautiful, beautiful family, and it is so wonderful that they are part of our family.
Oh, it's
Now,
so
Georgia,
sweet. Mm-hmm.
you have started a blog, online blog. So I want you to just tell us why you started it and how we can be able to connect with you to be able to support what you are doing online.
Okay. So I started a YouTube channel, right? And the name of the channel is Your Girl Georgia's World. And the reason why I started this channel was just to let persons know that they are not alone in their different experiences in life,
Right?
and also
Mm,
not just letting you know that you have company in whatever situation you're going through, but just so that you would know that there is hope. Even in whatever
mm,
situation you might be going through, there is hope. And that's the main reason, to provide hope and encouragement to persons. That's the main reason. And it would have come out from um, my first pregnancy. And just it being such a
right.
new experience, and going
Mm-hmm.
to Google and YouTube just to research all the different changes that was happening with my body. And I was able to
Right.
find people online that, that were sharing
Mm-hmm.
experiences, and it helped me not to feel so alone. So I just wanted to do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, just share so that others would know that they are not alone and that there is hope on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And tell us, how do we get in contact with you? Do you have a Facebook page or a YouTube channel?
Okay, well, the YouTube channel, the name of it is Your Girl Georgia's World.
Right.
Yeah. My Facebook page is same Georgia John Briggs, my name. But I think for the YouTube videos, you could type in Georgia John Briggs and you'll be able to find my videos there as well because I always put
Right.
my full name in the description of the videos. So your girl, Georgia's world. Mhm.
Nice. And so what you can do for us is just drop the link in the comments at the end of the this episode so that persons can be able to have easy access to what you're doing because when we do things out of our own experiences, we definitely are able to help others because we are never alone. And many of us feel alone in the situations that we go through. And that's because we are not making the connections as we should. But when we allow what we go through to help us to reach out to someone else, then we have many persons who know that they are not alone. So this Elias,
Mm-hmm.
the topic is wife for your money. Based on the topic, what is your last words that you have for our viewers?
Um, that if you want a nice wife, you should have money. Based on but based on our discussions,
Very funny.
based on our discussions, that it's important, especially as Georgia said, to support each other. Um, not everything that your spouse does you will agree with, but not because you don't agree with it means you would not still be there. Um,
Right.
so it's still giving that support unconditionally, whether regardless of what whether you find what they're doing is right, once it's not illegal. I mean, it's still give them that support.
Right.
Cause in Georgia supporting me, it helped me to understand that, oh yes, I could support my wife, and I've
Mm-hmm.
seen her grown. I have seen her grown based on our
Mm-hmm.
support for each other.
Right.
And I know the topic
Georgie?
is husband for your money, but he's a husband for your money because he really has been supporting me. And even as you would have mentioned,
Yes.
he's been supporting in things that you don't fully subscribe to. And I have seen him really support me in different ventures that is not really so much like Elias, but because I'm his wife and he loves me, he still supported me, and I
Mhm.
really appreciate that about you. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, yes. So we are so glad that even in this time where we so many marriages are on the rocks, including mine, which came to an end, we still have persons who are holding on. And they're not just holding on to each other, they are holding on to God. And God, being the center, is also holding on to them and creating that atmosphere of oneness. As Georgia said, the topic wasn't husband for your money, but it really was about the both spouses supporting each other. And the reason we have the wife for your money topic is because Madam Georgia said she was a wife for the money.
And you ran
But
with that
it's
Shia.
yeah, you give me an opportunity to run with something. It's like, okay, let's see if she can put her money where her mouth is. Yes, and indeed, you have put your money where your mouth is, according to Elias, and according to what I have experienced and seen thus far, and what I've heard tonight. So uh, we want to encourage you for those persons who are thinking about getting married, who are scared to get married. The thing about it is just making the right steps. And one of the best steps you could ever make is having God, having love as your foundation and your center of everything that you do. Because love always considers the other person. There's absolutely no time that love just thinks about itself. It considers the other person. And so that as long as we have love, or God, I love to say love, because just because sometimes when we say God, the definition that persons may get, it might be a little different to what we're really talking about. So, but it's one and the same because God is love. And so once we have God or love as the core to our relationships, we are able to live in that oneness. Again, it's not a flawless marriage
Mm-mm.
because we have two cultures coming together, two different personalities, two different characteristics, two different beliefs, two different values, but they are still able to come together because of love. You are viewing another episode, or you will view in another episode of A Living Proof on Shia's Room. Shia's Room is sponsored by Pearl Foundation. Pearl Foundation was established to deal with the matters when it comes to abuse on all accounts, with the emphasis on sexual abuse. Though you may not hear us talking about abuse, one thing that we have found out, to be able to prevent abuse, we have to know who we are. We have to be self aware. And so these programs are living proof that we bring to you on Shire's Room is supposed to educate us as to how we can grow, mature in such a way that we can make wise choices, better choices for our lives, and how we can take the time to evaluate ourselves and how we can be able to connect with other persons who were able to to walk that journey ahead of us. And so tonight again, we just want to say and encourage us, support each other. It's not just for relationships and for couples. It's for friendships. It's for parent daughter, parent son, any kind of relationship that you could think about. So I encourage us, start marriage groups or join one. Same thing with single parenting, uh, youth groups, any kind of group that can allow us to be there for each other and to support each other so that we would know that we are not alone and that we can be able to overcome our situations. I am Beverly Briggs, and with me tonight, our featured guest was Mr. and Mrs. Briggs, Elias and Georgia John Briggs. And we are closing off another episode of A Living Proof. See you next week, Tuesday, where we have another story for you. Next week's topic is Single Looks Good on Me. Single looks good on me. And you do not want to miss this interview. Bye for now, guys. See you next week. And do have a happy holiday. Do have a more happy holiday. I am Beverly Briggs reminding you our future belongs to us.